Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, and welcome to New Life Live. Steve Arterburn here. Really glad that you're with us today. Joining me, one of the people that brought us emotional freedom, Chris Williams, and the other person who is traumatized, well, actually not traumatized, but has freed so many people from the impact of trauma, Dr. Sherry Keffer. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Great. It's so good to be with you guys and all our listeners.
Yes, doing great today, yeah.
You know, Sherry, I really do think that since you have come along, we've helped more people with trauma than ever, and we wouldn't have done that without your expertise and guidance. And I would just say to folks that it's real, it's true, it works. I've used it, I recommend it. It's really powerful. There's something else I want to talk about that's powerful, and we're going to do it this Saturday. And I want to tell you the details because you might have not been fully on board or signed up yet. But Saturday, we're doing Lose It for Life. And let me tell you what it involves. We're going to do all day Saturday. We're going to talk about emotional eating, the unresolved emotions behind the compulsive eating. We're going to talk about nutrition, exercise, all that stuff. And then for 5 weeks, we're going to give you a group coaching session every week, 30-minute, we're going to do 3 30-minute private coaching sessions with a certified nutrition and fitness coach. We're going to do weekly training videos. We're going to send you exercise gear and a daily email tip, inspiration, encouragement, and devotion every day. For 5 weeks, we're going to do that. So first time we've extended the intensive, but we think that with the weight loss being something that involves new habit, new patterns, we're looking forward to making a big difference.
I love the concept. I think it's generous because you know how you go to a weekend and you learn a lot, but the idea of working for 5 weeks after that where you don't lose traction, you have accountability. I mean, you have a natural built-in accountability to reach the goals that you're looking for. I love the idea of doing it 4 weeks following. I think it's good. You know what we should do, Steve, is we should have people calculate how much weight they've lost over that 5 weeks. They can kind of just share it with us so we can have a total weight loss and maybe some ways that they've emotionally changed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of fun to do a big shout out at the end of that?
I agree. And, you know, for them also, like, okay, I lost 5 pounds, 7 pounds, but here's the emotional weight that I dealt with, you know, the shame that was driving this or the fear, whatever. And we're going to do that. We have to do that. I don't know how, but we need to do it. Anyway, so often you do something and you lose a little bit of weight or a lot of weight in a short length of time. And also in a very short length of time, you gain it all back. And I've seen people get the surgery, you know, and they look great. And then you start to see them override the surgery.
Yes.
And they start to gain the weight. And it's so, a lot of shame is involved with that. But don't feel like you're alone. I know some of the greatest therapists, counselors, pastors in the world that this is the issue that they've never dealt with, because they haven't gone beneath the weight to deal with the stuff below the stuff. We're going to do that. If you want to join us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now, if you want to join us right now, you can call us the same way that Debbie and Sue already have, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be here for 2 hours. 1-800-229-3000. Come join us.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Columbus, Ohio, April 8th to the 10th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Dr. Sherry Kepper, Chris Williams, and we're going to answer a phone call question coming in at 1-800-229-3000, and this one is from Debbie, Fairhope, Alabama, and she listens on the podcast. Debbie, how you doing today?
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
My quick question is, what do you do if your daughter, who's 14, wants to have a friend sleepover, new group of friends who they consider themselves either bisexual or lesbian or whatever. So this is really new for me, and so far I've just been having them come to our house and getting to know these young ladies, and they seem just really sweet and really cool kids. But my daughter's really pushing me for regular sleepovers. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
My daughter is straight, by the way. She's like one out of like 6 in her group that is definitely straight.
Mm-hmm. And she's, did you say 14?
Yes. She just turned 14.
Well, I have some
very solid
I've,
sense of self.
Yeah. I've got some very specific thoughts, but I do want to, before I throw those out there, I really want to hear Dr. Keffer and Chris what they think about a situation like that, where bisexual or gay friends come and spend the night in your home on a sleepover. Is that something that you're for, or what are you thinking?
Well, Debbie, I guess the first question I want to ask is if you can sleep when they're sleeping over.
No.
Okay. So I want you to listen to that. I think we minimize. I think in this day and age when we're trying to be so politically correct, we don't really even listen to our own bodies. We don't trust our own gut in light of what's going on with our kids, because we feel like we have to go with the crowd rather than kind of identify what feels best for our home, feels best for our family. It breaks my heart, Debbie, to see what's happening today with our young people.
Yes.
And it is rampant and real. I mean, there are kiddos that are like your daughter. Wow, so amazing, right? That she's holding on to herself, she's holding on to her identity, she's holding on to her sexuality in the midst of the pull for kids who are choosing their sexuality like they would choose Coke or Pepsi or Sprite out of a Coke machine.
Yeah.
And so the friend that you've had sleep over, right? She's had a friend over.
But no sleepover yet.
Okay.
No.
The friend that
Just
she wants.
visiting.
Do you know the friend who she wants to have sleepover?
Yes, so I've been allowing her to come over like 3 times, and we cook together, and it's all quote unquote. It feels very normal, and especially one, she just seems so lovely. But I said I would never let a boyfriend come over, and and even if you weren't attracted to him. I would never let a boy come over and sleep at our house.
So is this friend bisexual? Is this friend a lesbian? What has this friend said she is?
Right. So, and my daughter's kind of behind the curve on it, but she said that she's, bisexual. So she said sometimes she's attracted to boys, sometimes she's attracted to girls. And I said, well, is she attracted to you? And she said, well, I don't think so, because, and we talk about, no one, girl or boy, touches your body, inappropriately, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Okay, so I want to hear from Chris. I want to hear from Chris on what he's thinking here. Chris, your thought.
I think it just piggybacks on Sherry, is that Debbie, this is your house, and you're responsible to the best that you can. Keep your daughter, keep your family safe. And when I look at cost-benefit analysis here, I don't see the risk worth it, If that thing inside of you is saying no, I was like, yeah, then you're not comfortable with it. Sleepovers are fun. They're great, I just say in our house, we just typically don't practice that because of safety reasons, which is very different than when I was a child. But, if we want to hang out in the evening, want to hang out in the morning, all that's great. But we just have that boundary for our house. And I think it's very appropriate, especially with what you're dealing with, what kids are dealing with. This isn't a judgment on one way or the other of the child. This is a matter of what you're going through. It's like, hey, I wouldn't choose a person who had potential, and I'm talking about potential attraction towards my daughter, to sleep the night over. It's like, yeah.
So let me say something to other folks who have never had this discussion. If you haven't had the discussion, I wouldn't talk about things like, well, I wouldn't have a boy come over, that kind of thing. I would just, if it was me, and it is, I would be saying, you know what, we're just not going to do sleepovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Chris is saying.
Yeah.
And it would just be, I just don't feel good about that. And you could say, right now, we're just not going to do sleepovers. Chris said they're fun and great. I agree with half of that. They're fun, but in this day and age, they can be something other than great.
Yeah.
And so that's where I would take it. Now, I would have a heart-to-heart with her. She sounds like a great, great child. And I would say to her, this is not about you. This is not about not trusting you or something like that. I can't do it. Someone asked me if I'd be able to sleep, and I really couldn't. And so I hope you will understand that for now, we're just not going to do that. But everybody is welcome in this home, who's sane and not going to hurt anybody. Yeah, so let's continue to have them right up to late at night, dinner, all that kind of stuff. Sherry, do you have another thought on this?
I do. I think it's because I have so many stories in my head. I had of people that have had this happen where, their kid, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, I'm just talking about the risk, right?
Yeah.
Where their child, because of the pull, ended up in the shower with one of the gals that stayed overnight, and it creates this confusion, and then all of a sudden the stray kid starts to question, well, maybe because I did that, I'm bisexual. And again, I think protection in this day and age supersedes just the risk, like you all have said. And it's a hard decision. We love to say yes to our kids, but it's just such a crazy world right now in the area of sexuality that, we have to just stand on what we believe is best for them.
Yeah.
the society behind the screens says you need to be authentic. Now, what that means, if we say you need to be authentic, that means doing the stuff that you talk about. But authenticity means if you have a feeling or an attraction, you need to authentically follow through with that, act on that. That is not a biblical worldview. In fact, all animals have permission to act on their urges or their attractions. But as people, we have to show restraint. We have to show self-control. Not everything is good for us. And so I think it's important that you try to use this as a way to bond closer to your daughter, even though she's not going to like the short-term outcome.
And
I hope that's helpful.
The last thing I would want to say is, where are her other straight friends, right? I mean, is there a youth group that's in the area? I would be really working to try to be creative and cultivate places where she can be with like-minded kids who are still, feeling confident in their sexuality and being straight. She's going to need that.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say this. Mothers and daughters, the mothers that think their daughter is the closest person ever, they've got this communication going every day, it's wonderful, still have daughters that don't reveal this part of their life or lie about it out of shame or not wanting to be restricted. So I'm just telling you, you literally cannot trust a child that you feel like you are just so bonded to. You still should not just trust that what they're telling you in this area is absolutely true. And I know that sounds cruel, hard-hearted, whatever. I just know it's true. All right, 1-800-229-3000, and I'm going to send you a copy. I don't know what to send. I'll just send you a copy of Sherry's book because it's a great book. It benefits everybody, and so we'll get that out to you. And Sherry, remind us all, the title is specifically.
Yeah, it's Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Really great book. Title is hard for me to remember. I don't know what. I must have been eating something bad when I heard the title or something. Let's go to Sue from Baltimore, Maryland. Sue, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's kind of hard. I'm back with my ex-husband after 10 years, and we're dating. We're back together. But I'm calling because he had a trauma. I'm 69 and he's 64. He had a trauma. He was adopted at 13. When he was 13, his brother was 12. They were on a farm together alone, and his brother started up the tractor, which he wasn't supposed to do, and was crushed under it and died. So it was, anyway, I wouldn't have even known about this, but his adopted father told me.
Okay.
And he's shoved it down inside. He's very abrasive, and I'm concerned about him because of his relationship with his kids and how our relationship could be different. And I've been reading How We Love by Kay and Mylan, and it helped me to realize I needed to call. So my question is this. I care very much about him. I love him, and I want him to be okay. So what's the best thing to do? Because he seems to think he's okay because he shoved it down inside, because we talked about it when we were married over 10 years ago, and, he says, why did you bring it up? So it's this kind of situation. I'm afraid if I talk to him about it again, the same thing would happen. What do I do?
Yeah, okay. Just briefly, and we'll start with Sherry here, but what is the evidence that you see that there needs to be work in this area? You say there's trouble with his kids?
Not trouble. He just doesn't have a close relationship with them. He's always been distant. He's a hoarder, and just he's very abrasive ever since we've known each other, and it's almost like he's afraid to get too close, you know.
And the reason that you decided to get back with him was what?
Well, it just kind of happened. He asked if I wanted to accompany him to go out west, and so I did, and then we came back together. We've always been good friends. We've always been, connected, and he's helped me with certain things. We've always been good friends.
And why did you divorce?
I was enabling my oldest son and wasn't honest about my money. That was really the biggest reason. And I was getting us in debt, and I was enabling him and not being honest about money. And he said he did everything he could. So.
Okay, we'll give you some insight right after this. You're listening to New Life Live. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, April 30th. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie McHarris will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. We love to see people get back together who have been divorced if there's any way possible. It would be a good situation here, but we're talking with Sue, and she's in tears. She's upset, wants to know what to do. Let's start with you, Sherry. What are you thinking here?
Hey, Sue, thank you so much for just sharing your heart and your concern, and it's just heartfelt. We hear you. We want to provide, give you some answers and thoughts to your specific question. But can I ask you a little bit about you? Because I just get a sense that, one, I love that you know his history as far as growing up, but I get a sense that you grew up in a home where you weren't seen, you weren't acknowledged, that there was chaos, that you didn't feel safe or connected. Is that true? Is there anything that's... Are you there, Sue?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Can you tell me? Because it just feels like it's very familiar. You just... No matter how much you wanted to be seen, you couldn't be. What was going on in your home?
I was always a crier, very insecure. Now my parents, it was a good marriage. They had their normal fights, but not many. They never mistreated us. I was the youngest of 4, and I think I wasn't like expected. Yeah, I remember Mom saying I was a mistake, and you know that hit me hard at first. But anyway, that's really it. Was always scared easy, insecure. If I spilt the milk, Dad would yell. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd get.
So you know what I'm hearing, my friend. You know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing some deep wounds on your side of the fence. To have a parent say that you were a mistake, your mom, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
To spill milk and to have your dad yell at you, that's a big deal. Everybody spills milk, but it feels like you grew up as a very sensitive child, and yet you weren't understood for your sensitivities. Yeah. But then when you have a mom that says you are a mistake, there's no reason for that. No. There's absolutely no reason for that. And what I think has happened, my dear, I think you have somewhat minimized your own trauma. Mm-hmm. As a coping strategy, you have shut the door on those wounds and really not yet gone in to get your deep healing. That's why his abandonment, that's why his adoption goes right to the core of you, because you felt when your mom said that, you were a mistake. What is that?
Right.
And working with a therapist to help connect your own heart to your own story is going to help you figure out what to do with your ex-husband who you're now dating, because it feels to me like, and this happens sometimes when we haven't done our work early on, we can develop what's called a trauma bond, meaning I'm attached, I am bonded to somebody who's hurting me and who continues to hurt me. I want them to heal. I have a fantasy that they're going to heal, that they're going to get better. But you know what? It actually it's got a root in your family of origin. It's the fantasy of my mom's going to actually want me or tell me I was always wanted, or that you wouldn't be yelled at, or that you wouldn't be minimized for being a tender soul like you are.
Mm-hmm. It's so easy for a parent to say, you were an unexpected surprise, and we love the fact that you were an unexpected surprise versus a mistake. Oh my goodness. So sorry that happened to her. Chris, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think, Sherry, you're spot on, is that, Sue, for you to get into your work is going to be a form of leadership for him. And I think inviting him into the How We Love process so that he can, in the comfort circle, start talking about his childhood. And I think the more that you talk about yours from a place of authenticity and vulnerability, it allows him to go there. Now, I'm not saying he will, because what we have to remember is he has 52 years of coping mechanisms in place, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I can definitively say this. Hoarding is a form of grief coping.
Yeah.
Right? So we haven't gone through a grief process and learned how to let go of things and move on. And move forward, I should say. And so he is definitively stuck in those places, and he definitely needs his own healing process. The challenge is no one else can make him do that. But there is continual invitations and opportunities, but I think he needs to see the healing process first, and you can show him the way by getting involved in yours.
And you know what you make me think, Chris, with what you just said, overspending is a form of grief coping.
Yes.
And I think that your marriage was causing you to be activated so that you were acting out by spending because you felt so on the outside of his love, and you were.
So, You guys survived. Good job. You made it. But now, let's go beyond survival.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. I'm going to send this emotional freedom workbook. I hope you'll come to our emotional freedom workshop. We also, we've got this May the 7th. It's our Transforming Grief. First time we're doing that workshop. As Chris said, hoarding, and then as Sherry said, overspending. These are grief coping methods, and we want you to get beyond coping and get beyond this and thrive rather than just survive all the different.
And Steve, just real quickly on that, is it's critically important we learn the difference between coping and caring. Caring is going to move us forward. Coping is going to keep us stuck. So we need to learn the ways in which to care and discover caring for ourselves as well as the care of others through our painful life experiences.
Yeah. Well, we don't want people to cope. We want to offer hope, and our hope dealer right here is Larry Sonnenberg. Larry, you do dispense hope because you tell people what other people have experienced when they've taken a risk and reached out and gotten help. What do you have for us today?
Well, this one's Lose It for Life, since that's coming right up here this Saturday.
Yeah.
And following, because there's so much to it, more than just the one day. But this is what someone just wrote who was at our last Lose It for Life a couple of years back. Before coming to Lose It for Life, I kept isolating myself, and I didn't know how to truly surrender my weight issue to God. This weekend has been enlightening and has given me hope and knowledge that I can do this now, but only with God and in community. This weekend has allowed me to gain trust again and has shown me that I need to surrender fear and failure to God and walk with Him.
There you go.
I'm leaving this weekend with hope and newfound trust in myself to turn to God. I'm leaving with grace and relieved shame that I have been carrying, and with the promise and tools for freedom from emotional eating. I feel capable, equipped, and prepared to go home and work on me. Lose It for Life provides you with God's truth and how it applies to your weight loss efforts, emotional healing, growth to be mature, and offers hope. I love this. I mean, she mentioned hope 4 or 5 times, and what's better than to give somebody hope with the tools to see that come to fruition.
And I love what she said, only with God's help and in community, which is what you all have built in to the Lose It for Life this time. You have built in a community to help people while they're taking these first steps that are going to be very different than any other weight loss program they've ever tried.
Yeah.
Well, I know this. Isolation freezes growth. And so we want to take the ice out of isolation and connect you in a healing community. And we can do that. It's going to happen this weekend and ongoing, and you're getting a lot of things that are going to help you do it this time. We've never done it before. Also, Larry, we need help with our finances to do programs like this. The cost that it's not covered by what people pay. It just isn't enough.
Steve, you know what I wish I could do? Because we don't want to sound an alarm, and we don't want to sound completely desperate, but I'd like to almost like throw a bucket of ice water on some of our folks and say, this is for real. We need your help. Because I repeat this over day after day after day, and I think people just kind of tune me out. And I'd like to do something with shock value to say, we do need your help. It's serious. So please write a check, call us at 800-NEW-LIFE. Whatever you can do, please make a gift.
Well, you know,
Tune
it's funny.
Larry out at your own peril.
That's right.
Well, I think some of the shock value comes in our listeners understanding that doing these conferences isn't a moneymaker. I think they think it's a moneymaker. When people pay, they come. But when you think about the hotel, the food, the staff, the therapist, it's we do it out of love and wanting to make changes. And so if they were to see the bottom line, I think there's this illusion that this is like, oh, wow, they had whatever people. But it's so expensive to do these things.
Yeah. And we are right now short of the number of people that we have budgeted, so we can still get there, but we need you to call and sign up.
Mm-hmm. So I want people to know that if you are hearing about this and you need this, we have gone to great expense for you to hear the message that you're not responding to.
Amen.
I mean, that's what we're all about, is getting the word out that there's hope and healing and transformation. And so if you're hearing it and you need it, I hope that you will act on it by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE and just asking, okay, tell me the details. But when you come, you don't have to want to be there. You don't have to enjoy being there. If you'll just comply, we're going to give you some tools that will help you going forward. And that number, whether you can help us or you need help in this area, Lose It for Life, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. L-I-F-E. New Lice? No. New Life. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I was reading the name of our next caller, which is going to be Vincent from Albany, New York. Hi, Vincent. You're on New Life Live. Larry, thank you so much.
How are you?
Yeah. Hi there. How can we help?
Well, I was saying I have a sexual addiction, pornography. I've gotten some counseling and walking in some victory in that area. And I was listening to a program a couple of weeks ago where you were talking about addiction recovery, and that is only one of the rails that needs to be dropped, and there was a second rail, and I didn't hear what that was.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, Vincent, the truth about much of our pornography addiction is related to our pain. And it's a way of medicating it. It's a way of relieving it.
Yes.
And most of obviously that pain that we're medicating and relieving, we can trace back to a relational pain. And so we can get really, really good recovery, but if we don't heal out the pain, we don't have that second rail on the track. And so oftentimes I see people without that without the therapeutic growth, without the healing growth, their train derails because if a pain trigger becomes too much, everybody has a tap out. Everyone has a threshold. They will tap out. For those of us who are addicts, that is our addiction. So being able to get a healing rail on the track and a recovery trail rail on the track will get the train headed in the right direction.
And some people will say this, oh, well, I really don't have issue with pain. No, because rather than experience that pain, you go right to your pain reliever of choice.
Yeah.
Pornography. But if you stop long enough, you're going to see that pain. And that pain may come in the form of anxiety or just restlessness, anger at other people, rather than feeling a pain in your gut or something like that. We can see that the source is pain.
Well, and fear and insecurity, to your point, Steve, fear and insecurity light up our dashboard really easily, and we got to get to work on that. And what's the backstory? What are the sources of that? What is the source of our shame, so we can heal that out and discover something new about ourselves?
Right. And so we've given the rails, but the locomotive that gets you down that track it's the support of other people in a group. In that program is the fuel for that group. That's how you get better.
My fix to the pain in my life has been masturbation, and that's the thing I'm working on now this Lenten season.
Yes.
That I dropped the pornography issues.
Well, let me just say this though. If you are absolutely successful, and that never becomes a part of your life again, you still haven't started a growth program with other people. You're still in your silent recovery without revealing the secrets, and so it still has a tremendous grasp on you. Sherry, you wanted to say something, and I just stepped in.
Hey, Vincent, I love your transparency. Thank you for being so honest with us. I think about you as a little guy, and I bet you at some point in your life when you were young, just a little guy, that masturbation was something that you found, porn, something that you looked at in order to cope with the loss of not being able to have a dad who was around on a consistent basis, or with feeling overwhelmed by what was going on in your home, with everything that you felt so burdened by. I mean, it's that relief we're looking for, but the wound that's underneath that, Vincent, that ache of your heart, kind of like we talked with Sue, hers was spending money, and that really damaged her marriage. But in this acting out, right, it's a way that we cope that doesn't really get to the heart of the healing that you really need to pursue.
And boy, do we ever love it when people get to work and they get better. Oh my goodness, that's what we're here for. We'll be back.
I'm about 100 pounds overweight. I'm 30 years old, and I'm just really discouraged. I'm scared, and I don't want to feel again.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. If you want to live free of obsessions and compulsions in your eating habits, New Life's Lose It for Life Extensive can help. The Extensive features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 19th, plus 5 weeks of aftercare that include a weekly group session led by your credentialed New Life Network counselor, 5 on-demand training sessions from Steve Arterburn and fitness expert Michelle Spadafora, 3 30-minute private coaching sessions from a nutrition and fitness coach, the Lose It for Life book and workbook, and exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy life, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Privileged to be with Dr. Sherry Keffer and Chris. So glad Chris Williams is here. And just, maybe, I don't know, a final word here.
Just a...
I'd
do a final word for Vincent there. And Vincent, the coping is that self-soothing through masturbation that keeps us emotionally stuck, because the real need is human connection, and it becomes a substitute for it. I want to encourage you to do whatever you can to get to Every Man's Battle. April 8th, Columbus, Ohio. I know it's a little bit of a drive. In fact, if you sign up before March 25th, you save $200. And
that'll pay for gas.
Absolutely. It is incredibly important that you be able to experience in real time what it's like to be transparent in front of another person and then receive care in that place where you can then start replacing it from the coping mechanism.
Yeah. Very important. Thank you. I'm going to send you the updated new version of Every Man's Battle, and I hope that's going to be helpful for you. And I'll also send you Every Man's Bible. So happy to be a part of that Bible and see so many people get into it. Let's go to Springfield, Missouri. Jennifer watches us on YouTube. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to New Life Live. And by the way, hold on, everybody. If you're on the line, we've got a full bank of callers there. I'll get to you in the program that follows this one. Jennifer, how can we help today?
Okay, so I have a question. And I'll just give the explanation. I asked my friend to hold me accountable. I said that I wanted to eat dessert at the table and not in front of the TV. But what happened was, all I ended up doing was reporting. Well, yes, I did. No, I didn't. And so there was something missing to the accountability piece. So how does accountability work versus just reporting?
Well, you have to want to change the thing that you're asking her to help you with. And so the first time that you report, then you're also admitting, I'm not doing enough to produce the change that I want in my life. Are you following me here? So I'm just reporting the first time. Obviously, the program I have in place to avoid this dessert situation hasn't helped me enough. So explore with me, friend of accountability here, what are some other things that I can do? And so I might need to figure out what's going on with me and my feelings about mommy and daddy or whatever it is. Sherry, Chris, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
She's reporting but not really benefiting from the report.
So, hey, Jennifer, I'm working really hard to not put my story on you. So I grew up as a latchkey kid, and television, Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie, all those shows were my life source. And I'm imagining as a little girl that may have happened for you, that you found that eating sweets, eating something that felt so comforting in front of a TV set, which is for a latchkey kid or somebody that hasn't had connection with their mom and dad like they need it, it feels something. It's the same thing Chris was just talking about with Vincent, right? He said the real need is human connection. I didn't have that. I was starving for that. And so I too developed some coping strategies, and it makes me wonder if there isn't a part of your life as a younger precious little girl that you didn't eat sweets and watch TV at the same time. They were coupled together.
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to break now through accountability. But what we're trying to invite you to is to do the deeper work around the neglect, around the heartache, around the trauma of not being seen and not being loved. Did any of that make sense?
Yes. But and so I'm going to CR, but I just don't know how. I hear you guys recommend have accountability, and I don't understand how it really works because I tried, but some days I just said, okay, I'm going to be faithful to what I said, and some days I said, no, I'm not, and I'm going to eat in front of the TV, and I don't care.
Okay, but you know who that is?
I don't know how accountability works.
You know who that is? That's that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yes.
care. Okay, thank you. She just showed up. That's that little girl. That's that wounded part. And she doesn't need accountability. She does, but she needs it secondarily. What she really needs is to go in and meet with somebody like myself, a therapist that does deep work that might be able to do some eye movement desensitization reprocessing. New Life has this amazing 6 steps to emotional freedom page, and one of the things they talk about on it is step 3, get out of the trauma trap, and maybe getting some EMDR, some eye movement desensitization can help you deal with the heartache around that, to go care for that wounded younger place.
Yeah, because telling on here, I'm going to put this in a very different term. Telling on yourself doesn't work, right?
It didn't.
So
It didn't
and this sounds kind of harsh, but it's silly to think that telling on yourself is going to work, right?
I thought I was trying to be I thought I was being accountable to her.
No, hold on. Hear me out. You're focused on accountability, but accountability is not going to get you there. Accountability is a part of it. But as Sherry was saying, you got to go back and see, how is this an ingrained pattern that violates my own word to me and my values of how I want to live out my life, how I want to treat my body. So something deeper is going on there. The other aspect of this is that you're asking accountability for way too late in the game after it happened. Accountability in recovery is more preemptive. It's talking about how we feel.
Okay.
It's talking about our temptations. It's talking about our struggles. It's getting ahead of it rather than telling ourselves on the back end of it.
Well, let's take an extreme. If I was married and I wanted to be accountable and not be unfaithful, what good would it do to just have somebody, hey, I was unfaithful today? Wouldn't do one bit of good. That's just reporting. So accountability, like Chris says, accountability means I am so willing to change. I am willing to be uncomfortable. I'm going to call somebody before I do this thing. And again, if I do something, I'm going to ask them to help me figure out how to shore up whatever I'm doing and do more, better, harder, more frequently.
And Steve, it sounds like a program, because being accountable to specific steps in a program is incredibly helpful. A program like Lose It for Life would really be helpful here.
Yeah, you come join us, and I'll tell you, I think this and other things will start to make sense. In the meantime, Every Man's Battle is April the 8th, Emotional Freedom, April 30th, Transforming Grief, May 7th. But this weekend, Lose It for Life. And it really is a plan that has worked for so many people. I said it yesterday. We have pictures of people literally standing in one leg of the pants that they used to put. Their whole body's in one leg where one leg used to go. Pretty amazing. All right, if you want to join us in the next program, 1-800-229-3000. Thank you, Sherry, Chris, and all of you who watch, listen, pray, and support us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.